Welcome back everybody. Now it's time that we are going to listen to the defendant, Felix Langell.
Like, holy man, holy I'm so fucking tired of this shit.
How is xQC risking losing 50% of his 50 million net worth even though he's not married? Well, it's all because of his ex. She had the exact opportunity to be a successful streamer. She had the XP boost of being together with the biggest streamer in the world. She had access to X credit card and had all resources to make good videos. But she became an RP streamer without a camera. After the public breakup with xQC in September, she realized her future was done. She's been living the dream life all these years, not having the need to pay for anything. She had to choose between two options: going back to having a normal life and job, or backstab the person that's been by her side for years and always providing her with everything she needed, especially food, to never have to work again. So she sued him for common law marriage. What is common law marriage? Common law marriage, in short, is a type of marriage that occurs without a legal marriage sophistication. In Texas, common law marriage has the same standing as a real marriage. However, in order for it to become a common law marriage, certain criteria has to be made, like both partners must agree to be married, both partners must live together as a married couple, both partners must present themselves to the public as a married couple. If this is met, everything during the relationship is considered to be owned by both, and all the assets will be divided like a real divorce. Why would she do this? She chose to destroy her whole reputation as a human being to never have to work again. Because this is the last and only way she can squeeze out the money and never have to work a single day again and have generational wealth. What do you think? Do you think this is fair, or is this a legal robbery? This is Adapter. She's suing her boyfriend xQC for a divorce, even though they were never married. I have many videos going through the court case, and if you think I'm trying to make Adapter look bad, you're wrong. She's doing it herself. She sent a violation to the judge that xQC is spending her money. And after deep research into the ocean, the wasted money she reported as a violation, and even requested the jury to hold xQC jailed and fined for, was a tip he made to a waitress. xQC tipped $1,200.
Just to make sure, okay, this for you. It's not an error, okay? I had some randomizer. I'm not.
Adapter is using a good deed that maybe helped a mother feed her starving kids as a violation against him to get him jailed or win 50% of 50 million. Imagine being so greedy you want to destroy a whole person's hard work for years just because you don't want to take accountability like the rest of society, just because you're lazy. Get a job, do a service for others, and get paid like all the rest of us. Many see streaming as a joke and not a real job, and I totally understand that because it's everybody's dream job. But we need to understand that X serves as a service, entertainment, something that Adapter realized that she will never be able to do. And she's fully aware of this, and it's the reason she's trying to take down the person who has been her food coupon for years. She's doing everything possible to take down the ex. She also sent a jury a violation for buying a Rolex and for betting $500,000 on a World Cup game. She also sent a jury a violation for streaming their argument without her knowledge. But she sent a message in his live stream chat before going there. So X is restricted from buying jewelry, accessories.
Hello, xQC. This is Adepts lawyer. I'm sending this message to you to remind you that the McLaren isn't yours, bucko. Also, your last 3 relationships with the women didn't work out. Maybe try some of those femboys you like so much instead. Get the juice.
People saw something and are now speculating about what it means, and the problem is that they don't understand how these things work whatsoever. I will tell you with 100% confidence, I am not married. I was never married, and honestly, like everybody that's been watching the stream for like 6 years, okay, know my exact mindset about this, that I would probably never get married for the rest of my life. Okay, it's not something that interests me. I think people do it out of like customs or whatever. I don't see any value in it. Okay, well, dude, what about the thing that would require you to understand how these things work and put 2 and 2 together, but I can't do it for you. Also.
xQC Adapter is in the world's biggest common law marriage divorce and been having some crazy last few months. With many different rules and obligations that X can't do because of the ongoing case, nobody on the outside can really know what is happening behind the scenes, even though some parts was displayed on stream. But one picture changed it all. A fan posted a picture with xQC on Reddit. He was so happy that he met his favorite streamer and chatted like many others did before with others. But something very weird happened. The mods took down the picture. Fans noticed this and didn't understand why, since it was a fan picture. Many started wondering if this guy did something to X or had any connections to Adapter. Suddenly, my Instagram starts getting spammed of pictures from Adapter's story. She posted a picture at a cross event on
Right. What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Hopefully we all good. Oh my goodness. I don't know why that clip is so funny. I see everybody with the
ain't no way, boy.
Ain't no way, boy. But anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? This is explosive. This is beyond, it just keeps getting more and more interested, to say the least, guys. More and more interesting. You know, shout out to the juicers. Let's see who we got in here. I see 497 votes, and we got 5% for Adept and 95% for Mr. Cow. So that's, you know, that's interesting. We are going to show some evidence today. We're going to look at her evidence. We're going to look at her witnesses. But man, I don't even know where to start this, man. This is, anywho, does everyone know the Gigachad Lawyer, right? Me, I'm a gamer. Okay, I used to be a gamer. Now I'm a father, a divorcee. So the gaming kind of like, it kind of slowed down a bit. Somebody is spamming me. Give me a second. They are hitting me hard. All right. Anywho. Shout out to everyone in the offline chat. I got Chatterino. You know, you guys know I don't know how to work this stuff. I'm an old man compared to some of you younger people, which is cool. I respect everybody. Happy for everyone to be here, but I'm a gamer. And being a gamer, I used to play Metal Gear Solid. So that Gigachad Lawyer is Senator something. But anyway, I started playing Metal Gear Solid. Let's kind of tell you a little bit about my age. Way back when it was on PlayStation 2, right? And this game is so hard on PlayStation 2. Many people probably never even played it before. But on PlayStation 2, Metal Gear Solid 2 was so hard. I remember they had the boss that could like read your mind, right? And you fighting them, you like, what? You know, this is before internet, guys. This is before internet. And you like, yo, how does this boss keep killing me? He's reading my mind. He's predicting my moves. And I'm like, yo, how do I get out of this? So you know what I had to do? I had to go to like a GameStop, get the little the strategy guide, and it said you have to unplug the controller from, you know, controller number 1, plug it into 2, and then you could beat them. Like this, look, that's how dedicated I was back as a little kid. As a kid, like, oh, I gotta beat it. And you know what happened? As I'm about to, you know, get to the end and fight the big machine and all that good stuff. If you had a PlayStation 2, this happened to you too. Memory card got corrupted. Oh gosh, like, oh man, it was so bad. And because it got corrupted, it was like, do I really want to spend the effort, the energy to go all the way back through to get to where I was, and my memory card got corrupted? Oh man, those were the days. So that's before internet, that's before all of this, but that was me gaming. So that Gigachad Lawyer is from Metal Gear Solid, if you guys didn't know. But I got a great show for you guys today. If you want to know who I am Henry Resilient. I am a former investigator, and I work for a company basically tracking down facts and basically I was the money guy. People wanted money from my company, they sent me, or if my company suspected you owed us money, they would send me. So that's where we at right there. I'm gonna have to close down this chatterino because it's jumping too much. It is jumping too much, and I can't use the things I want to use. But we'll check back into the offline chat. But anyway, back to my story. So I was so good. I was really good. After about 5 years, I got promoted, start training other investigators on how to find facts. And I would interview people and basically get to the bottom of things. Like, did this person owe my company money, or did my company owe them money? It's very sordid stuff. But shout out to my old company. I'll see everyone at a conference in about a couple weeks. But anyway, that's my background. I'm also a father. I got a little daughter. If y'all get online today, we're going to use her little hammer for some order in the court, because y'all are going to lose your minds. I promise. Even when I was reading, I was like, no way. I was like, no way. I was like,
boy, ain't no way, boy.
Ain't no.
Boy, ain't no way,
No.
boy.
No.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
No. I was like, oh my goodness, that's the evidence. That's the evidence. That's who testified on this $1 million potential common marriage law divorce. Oh my goodness. But anyway, yes, I got a daughter, but she's not here tonight. So we can go until, we can go for a while. I do got a board meeting in the morning. Shout out to everyone who working in corporate America. If you in corporate America, put a 1 in the chat. So I know who my audience is, who probably potentially got to go to work in the morning or whatever. But anyway, let's see the topics. And then we're going to get into the early contributors. Let's see. Give me a second. Let's see the topics. What we going to talk about today. Be respectful, guys. I know everyone feels a certain type of way about Sammy and this whole ordeal. Even myself, I was a divorce guy getting cashed out. I'm not pro people getting cashed out, especially from assets they may or may not contributed $0 to. So what are we talking about tonight? Sealing the records. That's right. She wants the records sealed. Why though? We're going to talk about that Canada trip. We're going to talk about Mr. Cow's brief. We're going to talk about Sammy's response to Mr. Cow's brief. And we're also going to talk about Felix's response to Sammy's response that outlines who testified, what was said, and then you go make a decision, guys. And I know we got, what is it? It looks like about 50,000 people up in here. I know we got 648 votes for Mr. Cow, but Adept is gaining some steam. She's at 6%. She was at 5% not too long ago. So shout out to everyone who's voting for Adept or Felix, not Felix, Mr. Cow. I like saying Mr. Cow. But we're going to get into all of that. Let's start by saying be respectful of everyone. I'm telling you, if you think she's not watching, you're mistaken, because I got proof that she's watching this stream, or bare minimum, she is aware of my existence. So I see some people are trolling. But anyway, if you want to contribute to the show, you let your voice be heard. $ Henry Resilient on the Cash App, or you could donate via Super Chat. And I see we got our first contributor, Mr. Classy Beats over here. What does he say? I voted Adept just to trigger the chat. Shout out to Classy Beats. Like I said, though, if you need a beat, or if you want to get your music heard to a larger audience, make sure you go subscribe to his channel. You can drop his channel in the chat. Shout out to Classy Beats. And it looks like he's the sponsor so far, guys. Is Classy Beats the sponsor with the $10 donation? Appreciate that, Classy. I think we got one more, and then we're going to get into the content, because look, when I tell you it's explosive, we're going to be cooking, and it's going to be all night. And like I said, please be respectful. I'm telling you, you don't understand how far it could go if you are not respectful. And I'll show you the dangers of not being respectful and how it can hurt Mr. Cow. And shout out to this is Colossal Surfer Boy, Harry Potter, LULW. I know that's I gotta be like a emote, right? I don't speak Twitch. I do not speak Twitch, and it's unfortunate that I don't speak Twitch, but one day I'm gonna learn. And let me share this with you guys. Let me share this tab. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I do have the I Don't Speak Twitch shirts. Eventually, like I just started the process to link it to my YouTube channel, but you can go check that out at the Henry Resilient store on Bonfire, and it will come to you as soon as you order it. As soon as you order it, it'll come to you. And if you like, hey, I'm from JDF. And JDF, we do got the toxicology report, which we will be going live Thursday at 8 p.m. Thursday at 8 p.m. for the toxicology report. If you want the Stop Digging Bro shirt, all that stuff is available to you. And all of the funds and proceeds goes to the Baby Mama Terrorist Fund to help fathers who are dealing with baby mama terrorists. It's a never-ending fight. It's a never-ending fight, guys. And shout out to our guy, Dust Productions. When is he gonna start his YouTube channel? What's up? Showing some love. Shout out to Dust Productions. We was talking briefly about the JDF toxicology report. I know, like, you guys are from, Mr. Cow, but at the same time, like, he was going through a divorce and then he took his life, and then people was like, hey, is that the reason, he took his life? And the toxicology report tells a slightly different story. And shout out to LAJ, Shadow Rizard Money Gang. Okay, I don't know what that means. I do not know what that means. guys in y'all Twitch. Hey, I love it though. I'm gonna learn Twitch. I really am. But what do I have for you today? First, let's start with let's share this tab real quick. Let's blow it up. So here is when people said her sources or whatever. They said they sent me this.
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Henry acting real boomerish. I'm a millennial, guys. I'm a millennial. Like, even my mods be getting on me. I tell you, man, I get hate from everybody, but I appreciate the love. I appreciate the hate. As long as you watch, let's get into it. Just like the stream on the way in. So what do we have today? Let's just do a quick little recap, and then we're going to get straight into why she wants why the case sealed. Let me put some respect on. So look, remember, this is the judge. This is Brandy Hawford. Please don't go harassing her. She is overseeing Mr. Cow's case, and she is about to make probably one of the biggest decisions potentially in her career. I mean, biggest financially wise, okay? Not like as in like severity, because, at the end of the day, these divorce judges, they make thousands of decisions each day because people just cannot get along. Divorce is very adversarial. And let me put some respect on Classy's name as the sponsor of today's show. Divorce is very adversarial. Okay, you got these two lawyers, and look, don't sleep on Sammy's lawyer, because he come into play and he not playing around. And the Gigachad lawyer is still the one. But remember, I did a video and I was like, oh, Gigachad lawyer got this in the bag. Okay, see, Gigachad lawyer is playing the long game. He's playing for the end result, okay? And when you play for the end result, you introduce items for the end result. And what I was gonna say, Sammy's lawyer is playing, he's playing for short. He wants to win he may win the battle, but he may lose the war. That type of ordeal. But if you win the battle, and I feel so bad for Mr. Cow, because I slept on something, and we gonna get to it. I'll show you what I slept on. This is Sammy's lawyer. Ian. Shout out to Ian. He's just doing his job at the end of the day. If Mr. Cow would have reached out to him first, he would be representing Mr. Cow, but he didn't. He went for super lawyer. And remember, Sammy went for the high conflict, areas of family law, including divorce with complex property and custody issues and custody disputes across state lines. She went for this guy, high conflict guy, but there is something on him that I overlooked. Okay. And it became quite clear when I was reading his brief, like, oh snap, this guy is for the long haul. You're like, well, Henry, what the hell is going on? What do you mean the long haul? I thought we had this in the bag. Well, now you backtracking a little bit. I'm not backtracking. I think we still have it in the bag based on her evidence. However, he is a niche lawyer. Okay, so with him being a niche lawyer, it is all right. What am I talking about here, guys? You're like, Henry, get to it. what are you talking about? I'm like, all right, look, here it go right here. This how you know this is going to be a long case. Family law appeals. This is on his repertoire. Okay. Very few attorneys have experience appealing or responding to an appeal in a family law case. And most attorneys, therefore, are either unwilling or unable to handle appeals successfully. Okay. However, Ian has successfully handled multiple appeals. And I got to thinking, I'm like, oh, snap. So what can happen in divorce, like even my divorce, and what probably will happen, if you don't like the result of the divorce, of the judgment, you can appeal it. And you could appeal it, I think I know in criminal is like 9 times. I'm really not sure the specifics for family law, but you can just appeal it. And what does appealing it do? It kind of could drag out the case. It kind of can drag out the case. But he is fighting so hard to win this battle right now for temporary support. He's not trying to necessarily prove that they're married. He's trying to win temporary support because he wants to get paid. Okay. And we are going to get into it. But, as I was saying, everyone needs to be respectful because this is the guy who is dealing with people's disrespect. Don't contact him. This is Mr. Cow's lawyer. Okay. So you're like, Henry, who cares? It's Sammy. And I'm like, look, you got to be respectful of Sammy. I'll shoot Sammy some bail, right? I'll shoot Sammy some bail for a quick second. So they're getting divorced. All right. She's saying, hey, she's getting what's owed to her. Someone said she put that on Twitter. Okay. And you're like, well, what's owed to her? Okay. We know the McLaren, maybe the house. Uh-oh, my internet's tripping. Maybe the McLaren, maybe the house. What happened? I want to know if she put money into the McLaren, if she put money into the house. Okay. And what could have happened, not saying it did, because we don't know. We don't know Mr. Cow's story. He can't talk. I'm his voice or y'all's voice. He can't talk. So hypothetically speaking, let's say she put $20,000 down towards the McLaren, $30,000 towards the house. They break up and Mr. Cow's like, F you, Sammy, I'm not giving you your money back. That could potentially spark, this divorce case. I really don't know why it became a divorce and not like a small claims, if she actually put money into things, why it's not like in small claims court. I don't know. So why am I telling you guys to be respectful? Let's go here. We're going to do a quick reminder and then we're going to get to why she's saying we need to seal the case. All right. So you guys remember this? This is her original statement. This is where she called out Destiny. She called out Aiden. Or no, this is where she called out Aiden Ross, for influencing Mr. Cow. But she said something in here, right? Felix subscriber base is much larger than mine, and his followers are extremely devoted to him. An example of that the court may be aware of due to his notoriety is Alex Jones. While Mr. Cow is not in the same arena as Alex Jones, the people who follow Mr. Cow are devoted to Mr. Cow's public persona in a similar way that people who follow Alex Jones are devoted to his public persona. So you like, what? Gosh. And I know Mr. Cow was reading this and he was like, oh my God, this game sucks. Yes, this is a game. This game is sucking for Mr. Cow right now. All right. So what do we have here? This is her motion to seal the case. Okay. This was filed on 127. Uh-oh, I messed up. I didn't bring up the doggone docket. I didn't bring up the docket, but don't worry. I can get it up. So this was filed on 127. It's to see if anything, anything new came or whatever. And I know everyone is messaging him and he's probably like, leave me alone. I know, Mr. Cow. I know people want people to leave you alone, but they're not. So 127, she filed this motion to seal the court records. And what does it say? Now comes plaintiff, Sammy, to file this motion for a temporary order sealing the motion to seal the court records and show the court the following. Okay, so why do you think she wants to seal the records, guys? What do you think happened or was said to her that would make her want to seal the records? Any guesses? Anything come to mind that you may have seen or you may have heard about that would make her want to seal the records? People said you. Me, she's pressed by you exposing her. I wouldn't say I'm exposing her. I'm just reading public information. I'm reading public information. This is all public information, guys. It's all public information. But someone hit it. Someone hit it. And you could put that blame on me. You could say, Henry, why in the hell did you open up your stream to the juicers? You opened up the stream to the juicers. You know she's watching your goddamn stream. What do you think happened? What do you think happened? She said this. She said, hey, Henry brought up this guy. You're the number one juicer. You remember him? Y'all remember what he did? How I had to delete the stream and then I re-uploaded without what he did in there, and somehow, it get clipped. Once it's out there, it's clipped forever. So let's read what she says. This is a specific, all documents on file with the Williams County District Clerk is this cause of action. So basically, the documents are the reason it needs to be sealed. And you're like, well, why? Why? There's a serious, specific, and substantial interest in sealing the above records that outweighs the presumption of openness and adverse effect on the general welfare. So general welfare is health, okay? Health. On or about, let me make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see. On or about January 26, 2023, an individual broadcasting under the username number one juicer stated in response to pleadings on file that had been, obtained from this court, I am ready to defend Mr. Cow, and brandished a firearm with a black semi-automatic handgun. Now, you can argue and say, well, that could have been an airsoft gun. And what does defend really mean? Okay, so you don't want to necessarily give them ammo per se to seal the case. But what they're doing is they're using that one person out of all 12 million people to seal this case. You see what I'm saying? All it takes is one person. And now you're like, Henry, I know you do a lot of work to get this, but what are you going to be able to get more documents? I don't know. It depends on the judge. And I'll tell you what's going to happen as a result of this. So what does this say? There is no less restrictive means that will adequately protect the specific interests asserted above. So basically, hey, we have no way of protecting her from the number one juicer. Okay. The records being publicly available have proven to inflame certain users of social media that follow or subscribe to the party's online personality. So the juicers, I guess is y'all. The pleadings contain information that can be used to further inflame these users who have now publicly posted examples and willingness to defend respondent allegations in this cause of action with deadly force. So now they're saying like, yo, the number one juicer is going to take out Sam, which, I don't think so. But anyway, movement is compelling to a need for a temporary order sealing the above records. The specific interests set forth above will suffer immediate and repairable harm before notice can be posted and a hearing held. I was like, God dang. The public available records have a tendency to inflame online users. They're basically repeating everything to use deadly force. Movement request. Okay. Now look at this. Wherefore premises consider movement request that this court enter a temporary order sealing the court records as set forth herein to state the time and place for the hearing on the movement's motion to seal the court records. And after hearing to enter an order sealing the court records as prayed for herein and such forth for other further relief that may be awarded to law or in equity. Now, here's the thing, right? Further relief. Me, as I'm going through divorce, when I see words like further relief, I mean, that screams support. All right, y'all, we back. We back. Ooh, someone hacked me hard. Oh my goodness. Oh man, who's coming after me? Who don't want this information out? Who don't want this information out? Let me see if it worked. Can we put like some ones in the chat to make sure we are streaming? Make sure we back. Man, like, I don't know what the heck happened. I had to reset the router. I'm like, yo, Yo, Sammy, you hacking me? Who hacking me? Look, I took a phone call from my daughter. She called me. I'm like, did she call me and knock me off stream? Woo! My mind is going. Sorry about that, y'all. Look, let me just let y'all in on something. I have a landline directly connected. I have Wi-Fi on backup. So it was a coordinated attack, guys. They hit the landline and then the Wi-Fi came up and I was still going. Then they hit the Wi-Fi and I'm like, yo, I was like,
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
ain't no way.
Boy,
Ain't no way.
Boy.
Like, what the hell?
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Woo! Tell everybody come on back. We had about like 10,000 people in the chat. And yeah, man, someone was trying to hack me. You know, as soon as I start getting to the good stuff start cutting out. I'm like, yo, what is going on? What? Ain't no way.
Ain't no way, boy.
Ain't no way. Why they trying to
Boy,
to silence me? They trying to
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
order in the court.
Boy, ain't no
They
way.
trying to silence me, y'all. Like, yo, like,
Oh
oh.
my God! It's getting
Woo! Shout out to everybody. What does my guy does productions say? Jake Paul versus KSI. Who wins that fight? Jake Paul. All his fights, he's gonna win them. He's gonna win them until he fights a real boxer like Gervonta Davis or something, or Andy Garcia. He fights a real boxer like someone that's actually competing. He will get knocked out. And the thing about Jake Paul is he has to take fights that he can win. He has to take fights that he can win. All right, he ain't gonna take a fight that he could lose. There we go. All right, so we back. Spam xQCL, yo. Spam xQCL. I need to know we back and we not going nowhere, okay? I need to know that we not going nowhere, okay? All right. I see xQCLs up in here. All right, I see people on Twitch. All right, sorry about that. Somebody was trying to hack me. Look, I can't believe, like, I'm just a small YouTuber. I got like what, 6,000 subs or something, and I'm getting hacked. Like, they hit me with the 1-2, like boom. It was like, yo, we shut down the landline. He's still streaming. What? He's still streaming. Hit the Wi-Fi. Kill the Wi-Fi. They killed the Wi-Fi. I'm like, oh shit. People casting spells on me. Oh my God. Like, oh man, look, man, we gonna get back to the content. Luckily I didn't have to reset everything, so all my tabs are up. What does
stop the cap.
Sorry about that. What does Angelism CAE says? It was MD Pog who hit you offline. Yeah, is that a mod for Mr. Cow? Is that a mod? Shout out to LAJ. We love casting spells. Yeah, I see, like, whoever made that Harry Potter game is basically, this is good marketing, guys. This is good marketing. If you were playing a streamer, it's like, hey, everyone play Harry Potter on the same day. So guess what? Everyone is talking about Harry Potter, and someone says, buy a VPN, bro. Actually, I just got a message for a VPN sponsorship. I'm waiting to hear back from them. But I don't think I could do a VPN because with YouTube, it just messes all up, especially for like the ads. But yeah, I'm with you. But anyway, guys, maybe I'm Henry Potter. I don't have no wine. I just got my daughter's thermometer. But anyway, all right, we back. Let me add some stuff to it. Let me add some. Let me get these. Let me add some whatchamacalls. Yeah, if I get a sponsorship, that'd be major for like a small YouTuber like me, for Henry Potter or Henry Sherlock or what, Hardcore Henry or Henry Super Investigator. I appreciate all the nicknames, or Tetris Hairline Henry, whatever. You remember when someone was calling me about my hairline? It was like, hey, your hairline look like Tetris. All right, let me share some screens. I got to get back to where we were. Luckily, I don't even know Henry Rollins, Hardcore Henry. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Anyway, I don't know where I stopped at, because sometimes when you go offline, they like, hey, let's get them off. So, all right, guys, if you just got here, I was hacked. My internet was hacked. I thought it was my daughter. It was my daughter. I spoke to her. She said, Daddy, I love you. I was like, love you too, baby. Her birthday is in 2 days, guys. And I'm not invited to the birthday party. Yeah, I know. It sucks. That's what being a father is. Someone said we were at further relief. All right. So for the new people, What's happening is Sam is trying to get the record sealed. And this was filed. We're gonna get right back to the we are at further relief. She filed this on 127. And now comes plaintiff Samantha Lopez. This is her lawyer speaking for her. On or about January 26, 2023, an individual broadcast under the name Number One Juicer. If you see the Number One Juicer, block him from everything. All right, block him from everything. Stated in response to pleadings on the file in this case that have been obtained from Williamson County District Clerk, I am ready to defend xQC. And the sadly, the clip is still like, you can find the clip. It's still out there somewhere. I've seen. I was like, no one was going to take it down. I took it down. I clipped it out and then I put the live stream back up. There's no other less restrictive means that will adequately protect the specific inserted above. The records being publicly available have proven to inflame certain users of social media that follow or subscribe to parties' online streaming personalities. The pleadings contain information that can use to further inflame these users who have now publicly posted examples of willingness to defend responding allegations. So look, if I'm y'all and I'm looking at this, contains information that could be used to further inflame, what will further inflame? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to ask these, like, what do you mean that will further inflame? Like, what do you find that will further inflame? Yes, this is a new document. Okay, so we're going to keep going. What does it say? The specific interest set forth above will suffer immediate and irreparable harm before notice can be posted in a hearing held. So like, hey, if you don't seal the records, Sammy may not be here to go to the hearing. Public available records have a tendency to inflame online users who can locate the physical locations and parties of who may be used to deadly force to defend. Now, look, I've had everyone's location since I started this case. I don't dox. I don't believe in doxing. I don't support people doxing. I don't support people hacking Wi-Fi or internet either. So let that be known. But I don't dox. I don't harass. I don't believe in calling people out their name. I know I've seen people do it. I don't believe in threatening people. So all those actions serve no purpose and actually just hurts Mr. Cow. And a lot of people are for Mr. Cow. So if you want to help him, leave Sammy alone. All right. So we left off at this basically movement request at this court to enter temporary orders sealing the court records as set forth herein. The state, time, and place for hearing of the movement's motion to seal court records. And after said hearing, to enter order sealing the court records as prayed for. Remember, you got to pray to the judge in Texas. You got to pray to all the judges in family court. But this is the sentence that I got. The further relief may be awarded in law or equity. So further relief means resources. Further relief in law and equity means security. So just because that one person out of his 12 million some odd followers did that, this gives them a leg up to request more support. Basically, hey, if the judge finds that this threat is credible and seals the records, that means, hey, you know that Sammy's in danger. So if she's in danger and she can't protect herself, if she can't pay her lawyer fees, how she's going to pay for people to protect her? And that's where Mr. Cow comes in. All right, so this is his signature. This is on the 27th. Now let's get to proof that she watches my stream. Let's get to the proof, guys. Let's get the proof. You like Sammy watching? Yeah, Sammy watching. So, hey, Sammy, I don't got nothing, against you per se. I don't support what you're doing, but, I guess everyone has their motives and maybe we don't know. Like I was playing for a stream, maybe Mr. Cow owes some money or something. I don't know, man. We got to hear from Mr. Cow. Like after this is over, we need a Mr. Cow interview to see like, hey, did she put money towards the McLaren? Did she put money into her own money into the house? Stuff like that. Shout out to my mods. All right. So what does it say? This is an affidavit in support of motion to seal. Okay. Before me, my name is Sammy. I am 18 years of age and of sound mind, and I am personally acquainted with the facts alleged herein. So she's like, I know the facts. Okay, you know the facts? Yes. On or about January 26, 2023, an individual broadcast under the name Number One Juicer stated in response to pleadings on this file in this cause that he'd been obtained from, this court. I am ready to defend xQC. xQC is the online name of Felix and brandished a black semi-automatic handgun. The pleadings in this case cause contain for information that can be used to further inflame users. They basically repeat the previous statement, who have now publicly posted examples of willingness to defend Felix with deadly force from the allegations that is cause of action. These actions give me tremendous concern for me and for my safety and welfare, and I am afraid that if the records are not sealed, I may be attacked or killed. The publicly available records have the tendency to inflame online users who have the ability to locate her. She's basically using this as, hey, I'm scared for my life. This is her signing it. And now we like, hey, this is credible. Now look, it's one person, but she said users. And that's just a kind of like a legalese way to say users did it. Well, it was only one person. And you can make the argument that she wants the record sealed because she thought they would never get out. She said, hey, we're going to put the gag order. We're going to put the gag order on Mr. Cow so he can't talk about it. And because this is this small town that no one could really get court records, I don't have to worry about it getting out that I'm asking for spousal support and attorney fees. And people like, well, spousal support and attorney fees is normal. It's sure, it can be normal, but you don't have to ask for it. You're going for it. And that's what happens when you want to silence some people. But, granted, let's give her some grace. She may actually feel like her life is in danger, even though I'm pretty sure I streamed this. That incident happened a while ago, like a while ago. It was way before January 26th. So, she's saying it's all the Number One Juicer fault that the case be sealed. So that's where we at, guys. Let me do a quick check, see where we at. Let's see how many people we got up in here. I see we got about almost, what is that, 100,000? Jesus, we got about 100,000 people in here. If we could just do me a favor and like the stream, so I don't get hacked again. I think I got hacked because I had low likes. It's like, hey, your likes are a little too low. We about to hack your ass. And Philip was like, oh my God, this game sucks. Did he say that while he was playing Harry Potter? Like, when did he say that? Anyway, let's get into the next topic. What's the next topic? Let me pull up my list, guys, because I got hacked, and next thing you know, I'm all discombobulated just a little bit. So we went through why the court records were sealed. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the trip to Canada. Okay, we're going to do the trip to Canada, and then we're going to call back to it. So this is the trip to Canada. So we're going to share this tab. You guys remember the trip to Canada, right? You remember, hey, she wanted to get into Canada so Mr. Cow could give her a round of applause for making the journey. And she gave us a story, and the video is still up. So we're going to fair use it. Shout out to Sammy. We're going to fair use her video. Let me view tab and stream. And we are going to just look at this video for a second. Because remember, I told you guys, everything on the internet is evidence. So this is evidence. All right. You remember I insinuated that she may have deleted some things prior to filing for divorce. But this is still up there, and it was cited in some later paperwork. So what did she say? Okay. What did she say? We're going to get to it.
On the first day, we had explained for 2 hours how we're reuniting as through common law. That's the thing. That's what the Canadian.
Okay, so she's reuniting through common law relationship in Canada. Emphasis on relationship, not common law marriage, not common law spouse, relationship. All right.
Canadian government allows. We've been living together for 2 years. So at this point,
2 years. Look, when she's doing this, you got to give her some grace. She says we've been living together 2 years, but we're going to look at some documents that may say something different. All right.
We're considered. I did kind of.
Did you see she blocked that out? We're considered common law
I have to unleash my inner Karen. And let me explain why. Because the very first second I go up there and I scan my passport to get in. Yeah, that's how I felt the whole time. But I scanned my passport and the lady goes, "Oh, you're American?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Okay, so if you're just now getting here, she's American trying to get into Canada during the pandemic, and she's getting a little pushback, guys. She's getting a little pushback. And let's go.
And she's like, "You're not allowed to travel to Canada." And I'm like, "You're not gonna ask, that's the only question you're gonna ask me before you declare that?" You know what I mean? Like, there's exceptions. Please.
Okay, so this one day is so important. This is probably the most pivotal day in the entire trial. Now I'll tell you why later, but just keep this in mind.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, don't be one of the Karens. Don't be one of the Karens in the videos, like we don't gotta go there. But I was like, ugh. Okay, so I just looked at her like, okay, well, first of all, there are restrictions in place. Yes, for most Americans. Most Americans cannot travel to Canada at the
All right, so the restrictions in place were specific to keep people out during the pandemic. People didn't want certain people in. They didn't want certain people from other places that were high in numbers to enter the country.
moment. But I'm by law, I'm considered an immediate family member of an American citizen. I'm trying to be, of a Canadian citizen. I'm trying to be reunited with him at the moment.
And look, people think this is just like some innocent story. This is way heavier than some just innocent story, guys. She's explaining basically the basis from her case. All right. Hey, Phil, if people being disrespectful, just time them out.
She was like, "Oh." And she picks up the phone and she starts calling something right away. And then she's like, "Yeah, they said you can't go." And I'm like, "Okay, who are you even talking to right now? Because you gave me no information and you're just saying that I can't go. So who the fuck are you even talking to?" And she's like, "Yeah, this is who I'm supposed to get information, blah, 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 blah."
She's leaving out a key element to the story that's going to come in later. This is why we're going to play it. It's only like about a minute left.
And then I was like, "Okay, well, you need to tell them that I'm exempt from the travel restriction. And here's why. Here's the paperwork that proves we've been living together for 2 years." And she's like, "Yeah,
She blurred that out, guys. She blurred that out.
lease, and the lease expired. Like, she's showing me a lease, and because the lease shows you that we've been living together for 1 fucking year, continuously through 1 year. It doesn't matter if it's expired." And she's like, "Okay, well, you can't come because an immediate family member is only mom, dad, or husband."
All right. Immediate family member, mom, dad, or husband.
And I'm like, "Okay." And I was like, if you want to get technical, common law, the gain is low. Oh, I'm trying not to yell because of Felix's. And she's like, I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, if you guys want to be honest, it's like legal roommates at this point." But he's
Whoa. Sammy, legal roommates. Legal roommates? I thought you were legal spouses. Legal roommates? You sure you're not a legal spouse?
he's obviously not. We're not married by through a marriage certificate. We're common law partners because we've been living together for 2 years.
All right, there you go, guys. We're common law partners because they've been living together for 2 years. But you see the flip flop. Hey, we're legal roommates, and then we're common law partners. So I'll be like, which one is it, Sammy?
And I was explaining all this to her, and I think they're really technical on what kind of evidence that you show them and what kind of things you give them. So I don't want to talk too much about all of this.
All right. So she's like, "Hey, I'm not going to talk to you about what other evidence she used, but we're going to figure out the evidence because it's mentioned. It's mentioned in the court document."
Because I'm very, very grateful for the Canadian government and for Delta Airlines for letting me
All right. So
through.
This is important.
Because The first airline that I dealt with was so moronic.
Okay, why do you think Delta Airlines let her through? Does anyone know why Delta Airlines let her through? And this is pivotal. This sucks. Why did Delta Airlines let her through? Let's see if anyone gets it. Why did Delta Airlines let her through? She must have some sort of paperwork. No. Money. No. Come on, head scratcher. People like, look, why did Delta Airlines let her through? Why did Delta Airlines let her through? Because Delta is trash? Because she pulled the I'm a celebrity card? I don't think no one got it. Uh-oh. There we go. Someone said it. Where'd it go? Bam. She stated as spouse. There you go, right there. All right, so let's get to her court document. Where we at? I gotta find it, guys. You know, man, this is Felix's. This is the motion. This is the lawyer. Blop, blop, blop. All right, I think I got it. All right, we about to get into it. It's 8 pages? Hold on. Yep, here we go. All right, I hope y'all ready. Do me a favor before we get into it. Hit that like button for your boy. I said we just eclipsed 1 million, guys. We just eclipsed 1 million people. So shout out to y'all. We got 1 million people in the chat. This is the part you want to see, but Gigachad Lawyer has the evidence. So when was this filed? This was filed on 127 at 11:49. Somebody saying GG as if she won. Like, y'all think she won? I don't know. Gigachad Lawyer is like, yo, shout out to the offline chat we are watching. Hey, offline chat, come over on YouTube. But anyway, where we at? Now comes petitioner Samantha Lopez, who provides her response to Felix Langel's bench brief. Okay, so what's the bench brief? I showed you guys the bench brief. It was the brief where basically the super lawyer was like, look, if you trying to prove that you married, you're gonna have to prove a lot of stuff to us, because we're not buying this common law marriage. We're not buying that y'all lived together and conducted yourselves as spouses. Okay, remember this brief right here, guys. Remember this bench brief where he rattled off like 10 cases. He rattled off 10 cases. And in short, basically, I'll give you a quick summary, because guess what? I got it. I got the summary. Where is it at? Give me a second to find it. Remember, it was 10 things, right? 10 things. I'll share my little prep tab with y'all guys so y'all can see it. It was 10 items. And the 10 items were, can y'all see this? He can bring evidence. Common law 3 says she has to prove that she's married. Common law 3, no support until proven. The Supreme Court 4, order number 4 or 5 people is not enough. Dana v. Dana, 4 occasions of holding out is not enough. ARP membership is not enough. Smith and Devin, just because someone says we're husband and wife is not enough. You need more than one occasional reference. Small McAllister, she cannot be her own witness. Sorry, Sammy. He can provide that he never said they were married. Fuller D. DeFranco must have a reputation of being married. Felix, Flores v. Flores, no self-serving context. Okay, so that's where we at about there. And that was all that brief stated. And this is her response to that brief. Now, look, this is all about money. I kid you not, this is all about money right here. This brief right here is all about money. And, you could say, well, why is it all about money? Because typically divorces are about money. It's never about anything else. It's money. But this is her lawyer, not the super lawyer. This is her lawyer. What he says, now come petitioner Sammy and provides this response to Felix, brief where it had the 10 things that, that needed to be said. On January 23rd, blah, 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 Ms. Sammy filed her petitioner's trial brief regarding jurisdiction to enter temporary orders. Samantha filed her trial brief in support of her first amended motion for temporary orders and request for temporary injunctions. Samantha incorporates these documents. Now, I'm not going to go back and show you these documents, but basically these were the motions that say, hey, he needs to stop gambling. These are violations. Like he gambled on this day and then requested he stop gambling. So it's kind of like saying, hey, this is a violation. And then you're like, is it a violation? Yeah. Are you sure it's a violation? Anyway, let's go. Let's go through it. I'll get contributors at the end of this brief or midway through. All right. January 28 or 23rd, blah, blah, blah. We went through that. Respondent Felix, Mr. Cow. I'm just going to say Mr. Cow. You guys know I can't say his last name. Filed his bench brief regarding the informal marriage on January 23rd, several hours before the hearing that occurred at 1:30. Now, it's kind of a little legal practice. You filed it right before the hearing. Hey, it's on the books. But typically, which means they didn't really have adequate time to respond. That's all it is. That occurred at 1:30 p.m. on the same date. At the conclusion of the evidence, the court requested Sammy file a written response to Felix's bench brief by noon on the 27th. So this is saying the judge is kind of being fair, like, hey, I know they filed it right before the hearing, but you still get a chance to respond. Anytime someone submits something to court, you get a chance to respond. Now, you could choose not to respond, but that would be not in your best interest. As further review, Samantha would show that Felix bench trial fails to provide support for his claim that the court is without jurisdiction to make temporary orders requested by Samantha for the following reasons. Okay, so basically they're saying, hey, he argued that they couldn't make temporary orders. When I showed y'all at the brief, it showed clear that he could make, he said, hey, I agree to temporary orders. I even signed off on temporary orders. I'm fighting for spousal support and lawyer fees. And, you know, our Sammy lawyer like, look, bro, I got vacation coming up and I need you to pay for it, okay? Anyway, so first, none of the 10 additional cases that are cited in Felix's bench brief, excluding 3, which will be discussed further below, deal with temporary orders under the Texas Family Code. So basically, if you don't get what he's saying, he's like, yeah, that's for the trial, buddy. We're talking temporary orders. Like Allen Iverson saying, hey, we talking practice. You're talking about the trial that we're going to have. We just trying to get the temporary orders. None of those cases that you said apply to temporary orders. So run us our goddamn money. You're like, well, you can't say that. He can't say that to the judge. He can't say that to Mr. Cow, but he can say it, legally. So what does he say? All 10 cases are opinions and appeals. Remember, appeals. So appeal is like, hey, it was granted that Mr. Cow is the best. It was determined that Mr. Cow is the best streamer alive. And then I'm like, no way that he's the best streamer alive. It's like, well, look, it's ordered. You lost the case. I'm gonna just appeal it. Here's some new evidence. Here's some new numbers to say that Aiden Ross is the #1 streamer alive, or someone else is the #1 streamer alive. But that's simply what an appeal is. And appeals could easily just get shot down, or they could just sit on the shelf. Okay. So all 10 cases are opinions and appeals after a motion for summary judgment or a final trial to a judge or jury, and several are non-family law cases that discuss common law or informal marriage in the context of the allegation of marriage, okay? So basically saying, hey, we're talking temporary orders. 2, they're in appeals. And 3, some of them don't even deal with family law. So he's basically trying to get that thrown out. This is Sammy's lawyer. Okay, second, Felix has already consented to this court exercising jurisdiction to make temporary orders and injunctions. Felix's signature appears on the agreed temporary orders. And I know you guys remember the agreed temporary orders because I showed them to you. Where are they at? Just for a quick reference, we'll show them right here. Y'all remember these? Remember agreed temporary orders on the 13th, where Sammy gets... What does she get? She gets the BMW. She gets the Tesla. He can't sell his houses. He can't move money out of the United States. And they're both enjoined from deleting data or taking any steps to intimidate or driving a McLaren. They both signed it on this date, but let's get back to it. So I'm just trying to give y'all the maybe some new people to the case. I don't know. All right. So back to her thing. So that was the temporary orders. Felix provides no citation to any case, statute, or other authority for the statement in his bench trial that Texas court should, permit a party contesting the existence of informal marriage to put on evidence providing the absence of one or more of the three elements of informal marriage before entering temporary orders. So this is a roundabout way of saying, I don't give a fuck about his evidence. We're doing this for temporary orders. His evidence should not be permissible for temporary orders. I don't care if he has proof that they're not married. We want our money, okay? We want our money. Forget his evidence. This is temporary orders. He could save all his evidence for the trial, okay? Look, and you could say like, well, Sammy's lawyer must hate Mr. Cow. No, Sammy's lawyer is doing his job. He's finding a loophole to try to like a prosecutor to try to get evidence that will prove someone innocent is thrown out. Prosecutors do it all the time. Kid you not. They say, oh, we got evidence that Mr. Cow was innocent. All right, how can we get that thrown out? How can we get it thrown out? Because we need a guilty verdict. We need a marriage verdict. We need them to determine marriage, because how else can this work out? If he's not married, then I can't get paid, Sammy can't get paid, and we may have to pay him if he's determined not married. But we need these temporary orders. Okay, now, and finally, circulated in or articulate in Samantha's trial brief, Samantha has met the requirements of Texas Family Code and applicable case law to invoke the court's jurisdictions to make temporary orders. Okay, she's like, look, we've already proven that he can make these temporary orders. The judge could do it. Okay, response to Felix's brief. This is part 3. The case law, look, the case law cited by Felix is distinguishable as the case does not address the trial's jurisdiction to make temporary orders when the existence of an informal marriage is challenged. Look, I said, her lawyer is fighting the short game. Hey, this is temporary orders. But what about being married? I don't give if they're married or not. I'm here to represent her for temporary orders, not if they're married. We'll get to that. But right now, we need to discuss these temporary orders. I need to get paid. Sammy need to get paid. I got a trip to take in a couple weeks. We need these temporary orders to go through, and that's that. All right. So, all right. Now, look, Felix cites 11 cases total in his bench brief. Of the 11 cases, only one, which is ex parte 3, which will be discussed further below, is from an appeal after a trial court issued temporary orders during the suit for dissolution of marriage. The other cases cited by Felix are either appeals after summary judgments or final trials, as the following illustrates. Now, look, he is fighting hard to get all of everything thrown, basically saying, hey, that's for a trial. We're talking temporary orders. And he's doing a good job. Like, you looking at this like, God damn, it's looking bad for Mr. Cow. Like, you know, he is looking at this like, oh my God, this game sucks. This marriage game sucks, especially if you got money, okay? Especially if you got money. So basically, these are all the court cases listed that required the certain evidence to be presented, okay? And they're like, look, if you look at them, appeal, everything is being appealed. And this happens. Like, even if I go through my divorce, it may get appealed. Even if it's determined that Sammy is not married to Mr. Cow, it may get appealed. And then it might be Sammy versus Mr. Cow up here. January 23 as a new case. So let's keep going. The 10 cases in Felix's bench brief are distinguishable from the case at hand, as none of these cases discuss the burden of proof required for the court to exercise jurisdiction to make temporary orders under